Hey guys, what's good? Mike here. Thanks for tuning in to another video. So in this video, I want to talk about how to deal with working in a team environment, working with other designers, working with other people that have different opinions than you. You know, too many chefs in the kitchen. Every time you're working with this team, people are debating over, your design choices, and it can get frustrating, right? Whether you're working with a stakeholder, working with other designers and your peers, whether your boss is criticizing your work, they hired you, you're wondering, why did you hire me, if you're always nitpicking on my design choices and things like that. How do you deal with all of this one-on-one team environment in your career? If you're going through this, welcome to the world of design. I just got an email from somebody and was touching on this, right? This particular person was talking about their coworkers. He gets along with their coworkers, but just, week after week, they're always like in design reviews and things like that, and everyone has opinions, and they're just discussing, going back and forth over small little details that really is relevant. And this person's frustrated as a designer, like, should I put my foot down? What should I do? Etc. It's like the Matrix, right? You got the world around you that we live in, right? Beautiful trees, everything fine. Then you got the real world, the stuff that people don't really, there's not the fun stuff, right? And this is the not so fun stuff, fun portion of the design world. And this goes for anybody who is in the servicing business, right? I really need about 30 minutes to an hour to discuss all the different scenarios and how to deal with them, but I'm going to make it short, keep the video short, and just summarize it all. Short answer is, don't butt heads with coworkers, teammates, stakeholders, your bosses, or whatnot, okay? Let people have their say. Let people have their opinion. Let people do this. Let people do that. You just be a valuable employee, a valuable person to work with, and don't bicker. Give people what they want. The reason why I say this is because I've done the opposite. Years ago, probably about 10 years ago, I would bicker all the time. We would butt heads with people. I'm a nice guy in general, and I can say that in the most humble way. I am nice because I have, deep down in my core, I'm very conservative. I'm conservative. I'm very, I have that alpha, idea male. I'm not alpha male, but I'm very passive when it comes to me and just discussing things with people and being with people. People like me for that reason. I'm very nice to get along. I'm easy to get along with and things like that. But I have my own ideas, but I keep them inside. And but this particular job, I was just bickering with people. I was like, screw it. The frustration came to head, and I was just butting heads with people. I almost got fired at this one job, and it opened my eyes, and I left this job, and I found peace. And I'm like, I'm not going to be a jerk anymore. I'm just going to, I understand that people are going to have opinions, and if I don't give in, I'm just going to be stressful. It's just going to be stressful, and I'm going to butt heads with people. But I left that company, started working with Fox at the time, and I was like, I'm never going to argue again. And my life from that point on was nice. It was peaceful. It was less stressful. I got along with everyone, right? It's like, I took the approach, if my boss wanted a flying unicorn, I'm gonna give him a flying unicorn. If he wants a pink background with a plaid design going in this one, I'm giving it to you, right? And fine, as long as the check still clears, direct deposit is still going through into my bank, I'm totally fine. That's the approach I take, and I tell everyone, take that approach. I'll tell you why. Your time will come when you become a senior and you become a lead designer. That company, that team will lean on your designs for 90% of the time. You're going to get 90 to 95% of what you want, right? You want final say, you're going to get close to that. You're never going to get final say, because you're always going to have a boss, you're always going to have a stakeholder, you're always going to have a product owner that has an opinion that, you know, too much white space here, can we just do this, can we do that? You're gonna have a boss that doesn't like that yellow icon that you chose or something, right? You're gonna have a small percentage of never getting your own way. But when you become a lead and senior designer, you're going to get 90-95%, right? They're going to lean on your work and your proposals for that, for the most part, right? But if you're right now, if you're not a lead, you're not senior, just, hey, sit back, your time will come. That's what I tell people, your time will come, right? Chill, be the passive person, give people what they want, let other designers bicker and have opinions and strong opinions. You just keep it chill, right? If you ever read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I believe, I read the summary, right? Summarize it all. You gotta like give in to what people want, right? If you want people to like you, you kind of like have to do what they want to do. You have to listen to their life story, right? All right. You ever have a friend who just sits there and yap all the time, right? You never want to hang around that person, right? But if you have that person that loves conversating and loves hearing about your weekend and love hearing about your job and things that are happening with you, you love talking to that person, right? That's what it's about. Here's the flip side of that. Somebody might say, Mike, you're being weak. You're giving in, right? You should be assertive. You should have strong proposals. Yes, you should have strong proposals, right? But hold on to that when you become a lead and senior. Have strong proposals, but also be willing to accept what other people have to say. Now, I talked about this in a video years ago. This is where your personal portfolio and your personal projects come into play, right? You're in the servicing business, you're always going to have people, you're not going to have full control. But in your personal projects, you have 100% control, right? So if you bickered back and forth over a design style that you couldn't get across at work, take that design style and add it to a design within your portfolio, right? If I designed a dashboard right now for ADP and my bosses and team sort of went another route, they didn't go with what I really wanted to go with, I could take that concept, add it to a project in my portfolio, change the names, change the logos, change the colors and things like that, and apply it to my portfolio, add it to my portfolio. And guess what? You have recruiters out there that see your portfolio and you can benefit from that. You have, you know, all the other tech companies out there. So if you design this cool idea, add it to your work, add it to your portfolio. You know, if you want a flying unicorn, add a flying unicorn to your own website, right? That's where we as designers have full control. That's what we do. We have our blogs, we have our portfolios, we have our websites, okay? Do your work there, okay? If I want to discuss something that frustrates me, I'll just shoot a video and talk about it, right? But most of the time, when I took this approach and started adding things to my portfolio and started taking that frustration out from work, don't bottle it up inside, but just turn it into inspiration for your projects, your personal projects. And guess what? Now you have recruiters calling you and emailing you saying, hey, would you be willing to interview for this job? And guess what? It's happened to me over and over again. And I say, sure. You know, how much we talking about? Then they pay me $15,000 more and I get a new job and I'm all happy, right? And guess what? I didn't take my frustration out on that company. All I did was bottle it up and turn it into inspiration for personal projects. And guess what? Other recruiters see that work and you benefit from it and your career grows, right? And you can turn it into a product or whatever it is you want to do. But don't fight the different opinions. Don't fight all the chefs in the kitchen. Don't fight the opinions and the criticism that you get at work. Believe me, 95% of the time, 95% of my work that I've done throughout my career has really never been what I really, really wanted to do. I just give companies what they want. And guess what? The check still clears. I still get paid. And I live happily ever after. Right? That's my thoughts. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. We'll talk soon. Peace.